Okay, I found a fun and challenging game called Polygonle, and that's spelled Polygonle, and the website is Wordle, WORDLE play.com/polygonle, Polygonle. And what you have to do is guess a word, and this particular word is 8 letters long. There's a new game every day, and the shapes tell you if there's any repeats. And for this particular word, you can see the green triangle. There's 2 green triangles. That's the same letter. There's 2 blue triangles or dark blue triangles that are the same letter. And it looks like all the rest of the letters are different. They're unique. So if you could think of a word that has those letters in those positions, it's very hard to do this, by the way. So sometimes you just have to guess anything that fits there. So let's just try something here and see what works. And sometimes after you guess 1 or 2 letters, 1 or 2 words, you can have a better time of figuring it out. So let's try the word stranded. Now, stranded is a pretty good guess. You know it's not going to be the word because you can see that the T and the E should be the same letter, and the R and the D should be the same letter here, and also this T and the E here. So this word cannot be the correct word, but it's a good guess because it'll tell us some more information about the word. And by using the S, the T, the R, a lot of these letters are very common. And so if I hit enter, it's going to try that word, and I do have a few letters that turned green and that turned yellow. Letters in green means the letter is in the correct position. Letters in yellow, it means that the letter is not in the correct position, but it's used throughout in the word. And because this triangle here, it's saying the E is correct, that means that the second letter of the word has to be an E, and it also means the third letter has to be a D. So we know that the word is going to be something ED, and I'm just going to try typing in TED because we know it's going to be something with an ED after it. And then we have 3 other letters, and then it's going to end in ED. Now, the first letter might not be a T. It could be something else. So this game is pretty challenging. And sometimes it can take several minutes to think of the next word that fits. But we know some of the letters already. We know it has an A. We know it has a T. Can't think of any words that start with a T followed by an ED. We know the A is not in the 4th position. So we could have something like this, ATED at the end. I'm just going to type it out so we can see it together. The T could actually be here. The A could actually be here. I think a word ending in ATED is fairly common. We just have to figure out what this first letter is and what this 4th letter is. We know these 2 letters are not identical. We know the 3rd and 4th letters are different. We know it can't be a D because there's a D here for this triangle. We know the 3rd letter has to be a D. The 4th letter cannot be a D. So let's pretend that this is a blank and this is a blank. See if it even lets me put blanks in there. No, I guess not. Okay, so let's put in the X there. Let's put the X where the blanks are. XED, X, ATED. That's what we think it might be. But of course the X's are a different letter. So we need to think of what letters will fit in there. We know it can't be an S, it can't be an R or an N because those letters aren't used at all in the word because they're turned gray. We can look at our keyboard and see what's gray here, what haven't we used yet, what haven't we tried. We haven't tried an L, we haven't tried an M. We're pretty sure that the second and third letters are an E and a D. We're not so sure of these two, but these two are a pretty good guess. We know the A can't go here. And we're pretty sure the A is not at the beginning because an AE doesn't really make sense. An AED doesn't make sense. And an AE doesn't make sense, so the A really has to be here. Okay. I'm going to try this. I have a guess that might work. I'm going to try the word mediated. We know the A and the T have to be there. We know the ED is here because of the shapes. We know this one's an E and this one's a D. We just didn't know these other letters. And these are two letters that fit. So let's try it. Mediated. And that's the solution. I got it in two guesses, which is the best I can ever expect, really. And if I want to share with friends, I can hit the share button. And again, this game is called Polygonle, Polygonle. And the keyboard shows you the words that you guessed or used. And that way, when you got to guess other letters, you can see what's used and what hasn't been used to help you pick other letters. It is pretty hard to solve in two guesses. I got a little lucky that time. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 guesses, but you have a total of 6 tries to get the word. It's usually pretty easy to get the word in 6 tries. If you think about it and you look at what's been used and match it up with the symbols. So look for my other games and demos.